Hello and welcome to today's vlog. Hope you're all well. Yes, it is me on my own, no Jan today. It's one of the rare occasions where I just present to you a few bits and pieces and do a vlog on my own. Thank you all of you for subscribing, commenting, liking and sharing our vlogs. It's much appreciated. We love every one of you. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you all your patrons and channel members. Why am I talking to you here today? Well, you may recall, if you've watched all of our vlogs, and I'll put a link up to this vlog in particular, that before we bought a boat, we thought it was a good idea to compare the costs of what we were spending living in a house versus the anticipated costs of living on a narrowboat. Now, there was a caveat at the time. Because we weren't actually living on one, I had to use figures from other vloggers, and that's where we got some of the figures from and based it roughly on what we might be doing in a 12-month period. Obviously it was all guesstimation work. However, now we've actually been living on the boat for 12 months, aside from showing you 5 of the greatest things we've done in the last 12 months, I thought it would be an idea to update those figures and do a comparison over the estimated costs versus the actual costs, and also to present to you what we've spent in the last 12 months, in the hope that it will give you an idea of what you might spend if you are looking to buy a narrowboat or you're just interested in the costs. I have to say that I'm going to present to you a set of figures based on our actual running costs for the year that includes quite a lot of things that you might not normally spend in that 12-month period, and I'll break those down as we go along. First thing is to look at the essentials that you need to spend on and that you'll need money for, obviously. First one will be your insurance. We have spent £350. That's the cost of our insurance with a reputable company who also include, and that's a bonus, they also include the bronze cover for River Canal Rescue. That's RCR. So whilst you might think, well, that's 350 quid, what's that, 60-foot boat? Yeah, but you have to put in the cost of replacing that boat and a certain amount for cover for the stuff that's inside the boat. So laptop, this camera, other cameras, various bits and bobs. So yes, our insurance is £350. The other thing as well is we use gas here. We have gas cooking, that's all. So for our gas, we've used 4 gas bottles. That's the 4 13-kilogram bottles, and that's been a total of £139. Now, on average, when you can get a gas bottle, because there was a period during 2021 where they became rarer than hen's teeth, I think. They work out to roughly £36 to £39 a bottle. I've known people pay more than that, and I've known people pay slightly less, but that's the roundabout figure, and that's certainly what we've paid, is £139 during the year for the 4 bottles. We've also then had to heat the boat. Our boat has got a solid fuel stove attached with a back boiler which heats 2 radiators. Now, we've used a combination of coal and logs, and I know you can go foraging in woods for chopped down things and sticks and goodness knows what else, but we decided to buy proper seasoned logs. Logs we've spent £150 on, and coal we've spent £340 on. Now, in the winter we've had the stove running almost 24 hours a day. Now, we keep it topped up in the evening. It's a bit hit and miss whether it works or not, but by and large we've been keeping quite warm. Price of bags of coal we've spent costs between £10.50 and £14.50 for a bag. Depends what brand and where you buy it from. The other thing we've spent this year is on electricity when we've been hooked up to the mains in various marinas, and there's been a few of those. I'll go through those in a minute, but that's £140 on electricity. We've spent £284 on servicing, and I know you're going to say, well, hold on a minute, didn't you have a nice chap coming along and teaching you how to do it? Yes, but that'll be for this year, for 2022 onwards. What we spent in 2021 is obviously parts, and always buy 2 of everything just in case. The most expensive thing being the oil. Our engine takes a good 9 litres, I think it is. Yeah, pretty sure it's 9 litres. That's quite a lot when you think about it. And then of course we've got a generator which needs servicing as well. So our servicing cost may be slightly more because we've got 2 bits of kit that need servicing on a sort of regular basis. We've then spent £1,000 on moorings. When we first bought the boat, we were in North Kilworth Marina, and we were there until spring. And likewise, we are now in the marina until the spring of 2022, when we'll be going off cruising again. So I've included the cost obviously until the end of the year. So I've not included the costs of moorings for this year. This is the cost for 2021, and we've been in 5 marinas. Our license is a normal Canal River Trust license, and that costs £994. The cost of your license is based on the size of your boat. You also get a discount if you pay it up in full. I think it's 5%, rather than paying it off monthly. Also bear in mind that the license fee is going to go up in April of 2022. So if you renew your license at the beginning of the year, you're going to be significantly better off. And then the only other costs we've had, obviously, to propel the boat through the water and to run the generator is of course diesel, and for that we've spent £339 for the year. Now we've done a fair bit of mileage. I haven't totted it up. I might put a figure down here somewhere of how many miles we've actually done, but you'll have seen from our vlogs that starting off on the Leicester section of the Grand Union, we've gone all the way up via the Shroppie onto the Llangollen to Trevor Basin, come back down, gone the Middlewich branch, gone on the Trent and Mersey, come to Brinklow, then gone from Brinklow down to Leighton Buzzard and Milton Keynes, and come back to Brinklow. So a fair old distance. For all of that, and to run the generator when we've needed to use the washing machine during the day, £339. Now there are some additional bits that we've spent this year that I thought might be interesting for you. The total, by the way, for all of that lot is £3,736. But there are some other bits and pieces that we've had to spend this year, and like I say, I thought you might be interested in those. First one is blacking. Blacking, as I'm sure you know, is to cover the boat with a bituminous layer or a 2-pack epoxy layer of covering to protect your boat's side and underneath from the ravages of water, i.e. rust, basically. Water and metal, not very good together. So one or other methods is needed. We had ours blacked with bitumen, and the cost of that with 4 anodes was £1,131. Now, I know some of you may have fainted. In fact, wake up if you've just fainted at that cost. We know that's quite expensive. We were in the marina at the time. Now we know, obviously, lots more about the process of blacking and everything else, and we'll probably be looking at spending no more than about £800 next time we have it done. But for what we had done, we thought the time was quite reasonable. In the marina we were at, where we had the blacking done, the boat has to be craned out, and there's a cost of £180 for that. While the boat was out, we also had the boat surveyed. Now that's a one-off cost. You won't be paying that every year, so you wouldn't need to budget for that. We paid £565 for the survey, and that was a full survey, pages and pages. And then also we had some white goods to pay for, because we knew when we bought the boat that the washing machine that was here didn't work. How they ever got it in here, I have no idea, but the guys to get it out had to smash it up with a lump hammer. That's how bad it was. We also needed a new fridge. Again, you might have seen an early vlog where the fridge was making a hell of a noise and the compressor wasn't working and it was completely knackered. So we needed a new one. New 12-volt fridges are extremely expensive. This one cost 650 quid. Yes, I know. I get off the floor for that one as well. So the total of white goods we've spent was £838. We've also had some boat repairs. As you know, we obviously had problems with the generator at first. We went to Ian Taylor at Narrowboat Wharf, who was responsible for building the boat in the first place, to get his expert opinion and advice on what to do. He ordered the part. It had to come from Europe. We were at Knoll for 3 and a bit weeks, and the part itself was £990. Have you come off the floor yet? Anyway, the total of all of that, plus some new batteries, which we had done by another marina, and install. The back boiler had to be repaired, well, the pipe thermostat. We had to have the water tank blacked. So the total cost of all of those repairs was £3,000. We then decided to replace and upgrade various things that were a little bit, well, they needed upgrading, to be honest. Ropes, the blinds in here, fenders, shelving in the bedroom and beyond, and everything else, paint in here. So what I've called boat bits came to £1,200. And then, just to give you an example, in the year we spent £3,500 on food and drink. Now, I don't want you to get thinking we're alcoholics and £3,000 was drink and £500 was food. It was a combination of the both. It was £3,500 on food and drink, and yes, it did include bottles of gin, bottles of red wine, etc., etc. But it also includes our weekly shop. We got that from a variety of places, some of them delivered to wherever we happened to be at the time, by Bridge 68 or whatever, and some of them were us taking our trolley to go and get the shopping from nearby supermarkets or village stores. I'm sure you could probably get shopping a lot cheaper if you shopped around, but when you're on a boat cruising, you don't always have that opportunity. So the total for all of that spending was £14,150. If we take off the food and drink, because obviously that's a personal thing between us, then the total cost of all the other bits and pieces without food is £10,650. We need to look at really the actual annual costs of living on a boat rather than the unexpected costs that you might have to pay for. You would probably put those under something called a contingency fund of say £1,000 a year. Now let's be realistic about it. You will need to have your boat blacked every 2 or 3 years. Longer if you're going to have it 2-packed, obviously, but that costs more in the first place. But from our perspective, we've had it done with bitumen, so we won't be looking at having it done for another year or so. But for budgeting reasons, you would need to probably put aside £250 for blacking, because that would give you then 750 quid. So that means your annual costs won't get hit by a sudden amount. The same thing could be said of servicing your engine, and in our case engine and generator. I've put in our budget £100 for that going forward, because I should now be able to service the engine myself, and to be honest, that £100 should really only need to cover things like oil, filters and belts, as and when needed, bearing in mind I've already got 2 of everything anyway already for the next service. So that's always a plan as well, is that when you come to do your next service, buy another set of spares that you need, so that you've always got 2 on the boat, one that you might need for an emergency and one that you'll need for your next full service. Taking off all the bits that we wouldn't normally buy in a year, but build in something for blacking and for engine servicing, and it will come out to an annual cost of £4,086 or £340.50 a month. Now, how would that compare to the figures that I produced in 2020 in about August or September, I think it was? How does that compare? Did I get anywhere near it or not? Well, if you recall, our house costs at the time were £782 a month, or £9,500 £384 a year. So even looking back at that, we're already saving money from living in a house. If you looked at the estimated boat cost that I put together, it was £306.42 a month, or £3,677 a year. So 3,677 versus £4,086. I think it's about £400 difference. So it's not too far out from our original, or from my original estimate of what we were likely to spend in a year. Well, I hope that's given you some idea of our costs and the potential costs that you might incur when you come to buy a boat. If you get 4 or more boaters around a table at a pub, they will most definitely come up with different figures, different amounts, because they might not have gas on their boat, they might spend more on coal, they might spend more or less on diesel because they don't go that far, they might spend all of their time out on the cut and not ever go into a marina. You can't always compare like for like. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what we've spent and our particular lifestyle, which so far has been roughly 6 months out on the cut, 6 months in a marina. This year we're hoping not to spend as much time in marinas as we have done, not only for reducing costs, but also because we think we're now ready for it. You know, maybe we liked the comfort, if you like, of being in a marina. Maybe it's time this year for us to try something completely different. Who knows? But anyway, I hope it's given you some ideas if you're just about to look to buy a boat, or are considering buying a boat in the future, or if you're just being nosy about how much we spend. If you've enjoyed this vlog, don't forget thumbs up for a like, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to press the bell icon, ding! Oh, thanks Jan, and YouTube will notify you next time we upload a vlog. In the meantime, stay safe, happy cruising everybody, bye for now, bye!